Well, good morning, everyone. It's Thomas Montgomery. We get together most weekday mornings at this time, a minute or so before 8 o'clock Central, to visit with our distribution partners, to talk about tactics, strategies, success stories, and help solve problems. Please note we will not have training tomorrow on Wednesday the 8th due to travel. But today we have a really exciting topic, and I think it's relevant for a couple of reasons. Maybe most important of which is if you leverage this, you should be able to more easily generate new clients. And we're even going to go through some scripting and talking points during today's training. But at the high level, what we're talking about today is that we had a meeting last evening, and the decision was to begin offering the 60-day credit sweep, also called the 605B program, for free. So instead of charging for it, making it available for free. Well, why would we do that? Well, we know that our primary focus is to help entrepreneurs access capital, and we know that credit is one of the 3 C's. We know that not all sources of capital look at credit worthiness, but some do. And since some do, we want to do all that we can to help clients be able to accomplish their capital raise goals. So the screen's a bit busy, but we have 3 different items depicted here. On the left, we have the new flyer. I sent that flyer to each of you this morning. We were in the office until almost 10 o'clock last night, getting all this put together for you this morning. So the flyer should be in your hands. We're going to go through that. Top right-hand corner is our actual agenda for this morning's training. And then the bottom right is showing the updated 60-day credit sweep program, where now it references the word free and free. So instead of being fee-based, it is free. But let's go ahead and start with the flyer, and then we'll work over to the agenda and, of course, answering your questions along the way. So we've offered the 60-day credit sweep for almost a year now and have had really good success. And there's even, one of the success stories here. But what we wanted to do again is help more clients improve credit. It's part of our mission. We want to help remove the barriers that our access to capital clients often face, which is credit. So again, the concept here is we're now offering it for free instead of being fee-based. The top of the flyer is the same as it was, leveraging your legal rights for better credit. We explain that typical credit repair often doesn't work. The free 60-day credit sweep provides a legal, effective, guaranteed, no-cost way to address applicable derogatory items instead of disputing them with the credit bureaus. That's what most credit repair companies do, is they dispute. Our network of paralegals will prepare the documents necessary to block applicable negative items from your credit report using a fully compliant legal process. This is not credit repair. And just so you know, this, and if you want to use the word credit repair, just be careful. This is not a credit repair program. Does it help improve credit? Yes, but it doesn't fall under the categorization of credit repair. So just keep that in mind. If the credit bureaus don't comply, you may have legal grounds to sue and collect money from them, forcing them to comply. Why? Because we're leveraging very specific laws, specifically the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 605B. I know when I went through the paralegal training course at Rice University, I learned a lot about different laws and different provisions that I had known kind of superficially, but there's some specific laws, like you've heard of slander. Slander is when you verbally or orally state something about someone else that's not true, that's derogatory, that causes them harm. And then in contrast, there's libel, L-I-B-E-L. That's essentially the same thing, but when it's done in writing. Well, technically, and most people don't know this, that if the credit bureaus report inappropriately negative items on your credit report, they can be sued for libel, but there's a special type of liable for that because of the financial impact that it has on you. But I digress. We move on to talk about results, typically in 60 days, and it could be sooner, as we see with one of our success stories. We've highlighted many success stories, but the flyer can only accommodate so much space. And then, of course, new content, since we're now offering at no cost, is that we will pay for the cost of the 60-day credit suite while helping you benefit from having better credit by accessing 100,000 or more in funding. So this is going to be free for clients that are enrolled in Access to Capital. Don't misinterpret and think, oh, just anyone off the street can get it for free, because the truth is there's a cost for this service to be performed. Someone has to pay that cost. We're willing to pay that cost at no charge to you for Access to Capital clients. So again, that's why that language is here. And of course, the agreement when they enroll clarifies that as well. All right, so let's go back to the flyer. No changes here as far as what can be addressed: inquiries, collections, charge-offs, bankruptcies, other derogatory items. So no change there. We did change the language in the flyer in the bottom left-hand corner, and this is the new information. Again, just reiterating the legal approach. The success story highlighted here is the same. This is a real one. This is a client came in mid-January and just over 30 days had some nice results. Like Rodney, I don't know if let me see if Rodney's on here today. No, Rodney's not on, but Rodney just went through the 60-day credit sweep and he got his results yesterday, and his was actually pretty similar to these. But anyway, and then of course we just paint a picture of what could they do with better credit. Maybe it's to buy a home, buy a car. Obviously, you tend to get better financing terms. Looks like a misspelling there that has to be fixed. And then getting financing to start or grow a business. And then the resource site is the same. So the resource site 60-day credit suite actually is forwarded to this domain, businessparalegal.com, free 60-day credit suite. And this is the information. So as I'll describe in the process here in the agenda when we get to it, if you are marketing this, then you're going to drive people to your landing page, and we'll get that get to that in a minute, because you want to drive prospects to you if they're not yet already contracted in Access to Capital, so you can get them on Access to Capital using this kind of free giveaway as a recruitment tool. If the client's already in Access to Capital, then they can come directly here. But the point is, you'll most likely have your own landing page, and Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, can help you get that landing page set up if you need assistance. If you don't have a landing page, you could refer them here, of course. Okay, so let's actually get to the agenda, and then we'll dig into all your questions. All right, so again, topic is no surprise, the 60-day credit sweep is now free. Why are we doing this? As I mentioned before, credit issues are often a barrier to access funding. Keep in mind that not all sources of capital look at creditworthiness, but some do. So that's what you and I need to do as technical advisors, is help address the barriers that our clients might face. We've been talking recently about the cheap business address model, where we can use that to work with you or work with clients at large to get 100% financing for commercial real estate, and then use the cheap business address platform to actually cover the cost of the mortgage and insurance and taxes and even payroll. So we've talked about that on separate trainings, but the point is we help build business credit for free through the cheap business address model or platform. Now we're talking about what can we do about personal credit. So business credit here, now we're on personal credit. And again, this domain is the one that I'm showing you here. And so we believe that you should be able to use this not only to create more success with your current Access to Capital clients, but also to generate more. And we have some scripting we're going to get to here in a minute as I scroll down that might help you do that. All right, So how to get the 60-day credit sweep for free. So we do need to be an access to capital client to be able to participate in this promotion. And then the participant would need to enroll in the free 60-day credit sweep. They fill out the inquiry here or on your landing page, and we're going to send them an Adobe packet to enroll. The first page of the Adobe packet will actually be this flyer that you're looking at right here. And then the rest of the packet is the actual enrollment for the 60-day credit sweep. They will pay, and it's important for you to understand, we are going to collect a small refundable deposit at the time that they enroll, because the lesson that we've learned has been a painful one. If people don't have a little bit of skin in the game, they tend to not stick with it. So there's going to be a small refundable deposit collected if they want to go through the free 60-day credit sweep, and then they get that back. We pay for that. You don't have to pay any part of that. We absorb. Even if you're a white label partner and we're doing 50-50 split on everything else, we absorb 100% of the cost of refunding their deposit back on that. But they need to be engaged, right? They need to complete the Access to Capital program to get the deposit back. Okay, in terms of marketing ideas, as I mentioned, strongly recommend that you visit with Scott, our Chief Marketing Officer. You can email him. He'll probably send you his scheduling link, and then you can visit with him about landing pages. And he can develop different landing pages for different sales channels or sales funnels, but this is one that I think that you can get some real traction on very quickly. Because we know, what do you and I know? We know that a lot of small businesses want to need capital to start and grow. We also know that there's a variety of reasons why they may not have access to that capital, and you and I can help them with financial literacy and building loan packages. But certainly the credit sweep might address one of the barriers that they're facing. So we would encourage you to consider launching an email or a text campaign. And the theme would be, is bad credit keeping you from getting funding to start or grow business? Now, the truth is you could spin that as bad credit keeping you from buying a house or what have you. But our focus primarily is helping entrepreneurs get money to start or grow a business. So this would be the tagline on the email, or on the ad you're posting on Craigslist or what have you. And then the key talking points to build off of is, first, a free 60-day credit sweep. We certainly encourage you to make reference to at least one of the success stories. People tend to be skeptical and they don't really understand what's real and what's not. So while there's many other success stories, we've had videos and that, I would stick with one. These are pretty good results in a pretty good amount of time, but it's consistent with what's on the flyer and consistent, as you see, what's on the website. So I would stick with that one. If you have a different one you want to use, that's fine. Even Rodney, again, yesterday, had similar results, but that's the success story I would reference. We also emphasize guaranteed access to a minimum $100,000 to start or grow business. And of course, to get that benefit, they would need to enroll in the Access to Capital program. If they haven't already, they would do that through you. So you would receive the commissions from that, clarifying that 100% real estate financing is available. And then in italics here, you've got to tell people what you want them to do next. Typically, the best thing, in our opinion, is to drive them to a landing page. And if you don't have a landing page, you can create one, or you can have, if I can highlight properly, I guess it's delayed here. Scott can help you create one. There we go, finally, as I mentioned up at the top. We find that landing pages are typically the best call to action. But if you don't have a landing page, you don't like landing pages, you could instruct them to email you, you could instruct them to call you, or whatever you want. The landing page concept works really well because it's typically a two-step process. They get to the landing page and they're able to put in their name, their email, their phone number, very basic information, click next, and then they receive the terms and conditions to actually enroll in the Access to Capital program. If you make it easy, people will enroll. if you make it difficult, fewer people will enroll. All right, and so that's the bottom of the agenda. So let's go ahead. Let me just make this larger so we can see most of that. All right, so let's dig into the questions that you have. Do you see how this could help you attract more access to capital clients? Do you see how you could go back to your unsold, in other words, those that have not converted, the leads that you have that haven't signed up, and let them know that this is now available? Now, you could offer some limited time offer if you wanted. I'll tell you that our intention is to keep this on an ongoing basis. But if you wanted to spin it a little bit, you could say that for a limited time, access to capital clients are able to receive the 60-day credit sweep for free, and to motivate them and create some urgency if you wanted. All right, so let's go through the questions. The small refundable deposit is $4.99. That covers our upfront cost of paying the paralegals to do the work, and then the client is getting that back once they have completed at least 100,000 capital raise with the access to capital program. So good questions on. So they're not really taking on any additional responsibility. They had already promised, because they're in access to capital at this point, they've already promised to work with you, work with us to raise at least $100,000. So there's not like some extra burden or obligation being placed on them. It's just clarifying, hey, we'll do this to help you reach your goals. But again, you need to work with us to get to that end goal. Thank you, Zahn, for that question. Tyrone asked about current clients. Yes, absolutely. So, everyone's available for this. So if you have current clients, especially those of you that have current clients that didn't get cash funding, remember Kmart, if you're old enough to remember Kmart, they had blue light specials, right? When I was a kid, it was so cool. You'd be in Kmart and they would announce a blue light special in the sporting good department. You'd run over there and see what the deal is. Well, your blue light should be going off, because if you've been with us for any amount of time at all, you probably have some clients that did not receive cash funding offers for their first tranche financing. They should be very, very interested in this, because obviously credit has already gotten in the way of their ability to get funding. Mark is asking a clarification that the credit sweep. Yeah, so we have white label partners on the access to capital program, and we also have white label partners on the credit sweep. And so absolutely, our white label partners continue to offer credit sweep and charge whatever they want to charge. So no change there. Thank you, Mark, for clarifying that. Winston's asking about the $4.99 deposit for the 60-day credit sweep. So a couple things. So I think Winston's asking, is there any other cost to them? Well, technically there's no cost. There's a deposit, but there's no other elements. And so they're getting a service that's worth thousands of dollars for free. We are asking them to put a small deposit up front. The reason being, we need to have them, Winston, to have some skin in the game, because human behavior is if you give something away completely free, they don't place most people won't place a value. They won't stick with it. They won't stay engaged, because we have to pay. It's not free to have paralegals. We have to pay the paralegals to do this work. So the $4.99 covers our cost to pay the paralegals, and then the client receives the benefits. The client receives at least $100,000 capital raise, and as long as the client complies, then they get their deposit back. I think that's very fair. Spencer asked a good question. Can they finance the $4.99? Sure. I mean, with approved credit, WAC, right? So of course you can finance anything with approved credit. So if they want to finance the deposit, they can certainly finance the deposit. That's a good point, Spencer. All right. And so Reverend Loveridge is asking, will the refundable deposit, yeah, so they'll still get their refundable deposit back for the creation of the loan package. Nothing has changed there. And then in addition, if they need this, they'll also get this refundable deposit back. So again, there's no, as they would say, there's no hair to this. There's no hidden messages. It's as we stated. So they're not paying anything other than the refundable deposit. They get it back as long as they comply, and they're saving thousands of dollars. But even beyond that, where you and I are helping them move, in some cases, from being unqualified to qualified. And that's huge, because some of these people are stuck because of credit issues. All right, so Winston asked, as white label partners, do we have the option to finance the fees anywhere? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, one of you had a three-way call yesterday with one of your clients, and the cash funding offers that this white label partner's client received for first tranche financing wasn't attractive to the gentleman. And I said, that's okay. You do not have to accept first tranche financing. If you don't like the terms or the amount, then decline it. You're just our clients are not required to accept any round of funding if they don't feel like it's in best interest for them. And if you want to help them finance their loan package or the refundable deposit for the 60-day credit sweep, fine with me. We just want to help them accomplish the results. All right, so again, Tyrone, I guess, is asking, and I didn't mean to skirt it, what does he do if he has a client already enrolled that needs this? Just go ahead and help them fill out the form. I didn't mean to cross that out. That was meant to be highlighted. There we go. The form that's there. It was the bottom box that was on the screen a moment ago. All right. And so, yeah, this was sent out to all of our distribution partners. If you didn't see it, I would recommend checking in your spam or filters, but this was sent out to everyone this morning. All right. And so let's see. Tyrone has a question. Yeah, Tyrone, you'll have to restate that question. I don't understand it. I apologize. And Spencer, yes, I'll give you a call afterwards. Who else has questions though? Oh, here we go. Marcelo has a question. Is this a good program to begin if you're currently going through underwriting or may have your credit checked by someone? Well, so I'm going to restate Marcelo's question. When a client enrolls in access to, so let's say the client's already in access to capital, that we didn't use this as the door opener to get the conversation started. Then once the client's in, we try to get them their first tranche of financing very, very quickly. As I mentioned earlier during today's webinar, if they don't receive cash funding, then that's a pretty good indication that they would be a really good candidate for this. And then secondly, you'll also see that after we go through week 2 of the 4-week curriculum, of the 4-module curriculum, that we're doing a soft credit pull, and that might also give us an indication that they would benefit from the 60-day credit sweep. So, how you approach it, Marcelo, I think depends upon, are they already enrolled in access to capital? Then we can use some very specific triggers to decide if they might benefit from it. Or often what you'll be doing is using this as the door opener to be able to generate conversations and then talk to them about how this can help them with their credit, but also how the access to capital program can help them get 100,000 or more in funding to start or grow a business. All right, Winston asked about insurance agents. Many of our white label partners are insurance agents and others aren't. If they're not an insurance agent, then they facilitate and set up a referral relationship with agents. Let's see. Tyrone's asking about free, right? So at the end, how much has the client paid for the 60-day credit sweep? They paid 0 And so 0 equals free in our book. If you feel differently, let me know. All right, so I think I'm current on all the questions. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns? And again, as I mentioned, we will not have training tomorrow. I'll be traveling, then we'll be back on Thursday. I sent out this flyer out to everyone, and we know that the call to action is real simple. All you need to do is submit your current clients here on the form. You can just type in 60-day credit sweep if you wish, and it'll be forwarded here. And then, of course, if you're using this to generate new clients, then you're going to want to get them under contract with access to capital first through you, and then we'll do this. All right, any other questions? There are some more questions. All right, so David asked, midst of refinancing a property, do I need to wait? No, that's not a prerequisite. So we don't have to wait just because you're refinancing a property. Tawana asked a good question, and that's good, and I didn't clarify it. So thank you, Tawana, for bringing it up. So I feel like what Tawana is asking is, okay, the client has enrolled through her. She's a white label partner. They've enrolled through her in access to capital. Let's say that we went for the first tranche of financing and they did not qualify for any cash funding. So let's say that they're doing either the benefits or the zero, kind of the in-house 0%. Do they have to have that fully paid in to be able to qualify for the free credit sweep? No, that's not a requirement. So they need to be in good standing. If we're going to offer them something free that's worth several $1,000s, they need to be in good standing. But no, they don't have to have paid their full $2,500 or whatever. Some of you are charging more than $2,500 for the refundable deposit, and frankly, some of you are not making it refundable. But in general, the deposit that covers the cost for you and I to develop the loan package, it is not a prerequisite that they've paid that in full to qualify for this free benefit. Thank you, Tawana, for asking that. I should have mentioned. And yeah, the removing inquiries is, one of you asked about inquiry removal. That's a big deal. If I could highlight just it. Let's see. And I see some of you. So you may have clients that are currently doing credit repair, which is not what we do. And if they're doing credit repair, then they should just stick with that. If that's resolving their problem and they're seeing these types of results or anticipate seeing these types of results in 60 days, they don't have a problem to fix. But a lot of people have tried credit repair and it hasn't worked successfully, or they had to pay money for it, or here it's free, or maybe they're not doing anything to take action on improving their credit yet. This could be applicable in all of those cases. Let's see if there's any more questions. Okay, well, I think we're current. We're at the bottom of the hour. So again, in summary, we have decided to make the 60-day credit sweep to be free instead of charging for it. We were well, if you're a white label partner, you can still sell it for a fee if you want. But for us, we don't want to charge for it anymore. We want to use it as a free resource to help our access to capital clients be able to access capital more quickly and under better terms and more amounts. And so that's what we've talked about today. This flyer is available for you to edit and use if you want. We strongly encourage you to work with Scott and consider setting up a landing page using this campaign, because you can attract a lot of people, because what they're getting is not only free credit improvement through the 605B 60-day credit sweep, but they would also be getting a guaranteed minimum of $100,000. So that's a nice combination. As we've talked about before, most people don't want just better credit just because they want better credit. They want better credit because the utility of credit, what they want to do with it. And here you can use that as a door opener to get them into the access to capital program. And David's correct. So when we talk about credit sweep, don't misinterpret. This is not removing positive items. There is a different type of a credit sweep, more of a global credit sweep where it takes everything off. And that's very dangerous, because now you create what's called a thin file. You have a grown adult, a grown man or woman that has nothing on their credit report. That's an instant red flag for lenders, because you either have been living in the woods under a rock, just got out of jail. It doesn't happen that way. You rarely would be an adult with no credit activity. So that's a great point, David. This is not sweeping off positive items, only applicable derogatory items. Thank you for clarifying that. All right, so there we are. We'll be back on Thursday morning. I'll get this recording out. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.